Hello, it's Sonia here with a Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be making an ear warmer, and to do this project I am using my eye hook, or 5.5mm hook. I just have a rubber band on it because sometimes I use this for Tunisian crochet, but this is a regular crochet project. And to do this we will need to use worsted weight yarn, or number 4 yarn, which I have right here. And I've already started this project. I'm playing Yarn Chicken, so this purple is just going to show you the steps on how to do it, and I've already got one in progress right here. So I have this, and this is a neat stitch. It's very stretchy, and the yarn I am using I got from a thrift store. It's called Vega. Never heard of it. It's actually 100% wool, and there's 95 meters to it. So I'm hoping I have enough of this yarn that one skein will be enough. I'm not sure because I think the colors are really fun and neat, and the wool is actually not very scratchy because sometimes wool can be really scratchy, but this is actually pretty nice. So I might be keeping it for myself. So let's get started here. So to do this project, what you're going to do is you're going to chain 103 chains. So for this guy here, I already did that. I chained 103. So once you have your 103 chains, row 1, you're going to work in the back bump of your chain. So you're going to turn it on the back side, and in the second bump from your hook or second chain, you're going to work a single crochet. And you're going to single crochet in each bump across your chain, and you will have 102 single crochet. So I only chained 13 here, so I'm only going to have 12, but again, it's just to show you the steps, and I will continue working on my actual one, and then I'll show you how we'll finish it. Okay, so we've got our first row. Again, you're going to have 102 single crochet, and this pattern actually came out in a publication over a year ago that I did, and I thought I really liked it, and I thought I would share it with my YouTube group here and have it part of this ear warmer series that I'm doing. Alright, so let's begin row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So we're going to be working some variations of single crochet that I don't think I reinvented the wheel. I just was playing around, and I saw variations of this stitch on YouTube and I couldn't figure it out, so I kind of just came up with my own, and I was like, wow, that's a really cool fun stitch or stitch pattern. So that's sort of how all this came about. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do what I call yarn forward single crochet. So what I mean by that is we're going to have our yarn, our working yarn, it's going to be in front of us like that. And we're going to be working in the back loop in that first stitch. So in our first stitch here, we're going to insert our hook in the back loop with our yarn forward. Now we're going to pick up our yarn and we're going to work a regular single crochet. So we're just wrapping that yarn around the hook, pulling through one loop, and yarning over, pulling through 2. So that is a yarn forward single crochet. It might have an actual name. I don't know. I just named it that because I had to name it something in the pattern when I wrote it for the publication. Okay, so our second stitch is going to be inverse single crochet, and we're going to be working in the front loop. So what that means is the hook is going to be pointing towards your body like this, and you're going to insert the hook. So your yarn is going to be in the back like that. Your hook is going to be pointing towards your body. You're going to insert your hook in the front loop of the next stitch, and then you're going to wrap that yarn around your hook, pull up a loop like a regular single crochet, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to repeat. So we're going to do yarn forward. So what I usually do, it actually works up pretty quickly. It might seem a little strange. I just kind of take my hook and I don't like purposely do that. I take my hook, just push the yarn forward and put my hook in that back loop so you can automatically see the yarn is forward, and then I wrap it around my hook to work the single crochet. And then the next stitch is inverse, so pointing towards your body and working that single crochet. So yarn forward, so again, just push, I take my hook, just push that yarn forward and work the stitch, and then inverse towards my body, so yarn forward, inverse, all the way across. So yarn forward, inverse. So it might seem a little awkward at first, but once you get some nice rhythm, it really works up pretty quickly, and it creates a really cool looking fabric. I actually want to incorporate some other projects with it if I can. So there is row 2. So row 3, chain 1, turn. You're just going to be repeating row 2. So row 3 I consider the right side. So our first stitch is yarn forward in that back loop. My yarn was splitting on me. So you're always going to have the same amount of stitches for each row. So I have worked 12 stitches, so I'm always going to have 12. So we have 102 stitches for each row, and you're just going to be alternating yarn forward, single crochet, inverse, single crochet all the way across. So we're going to work 12 rows repeating row 2, and as you'll see, it just is a nice flexible, it might be a fun ribbing in a hat, maybe I'll have to do that. But you're going to keep repeating row 2 for 12 rows, and then row 13 is going to just be a regular single crochet row. So when you get to row 13, you're going to work in both loops of your stitch like a normal single crochet and just work a normal single crochet for row 13. So again, repeat rows 2 through 12, or now we're on row 3. Rows 3 through 12, you're going to be repeating row 2 of yarn front single crochet, inverse single crochet, and then row 13, you're going to work a regular single crochet row in both loops, and then we'll get ready to turn it into an ear warmer. So I will meet you back at the end of row 13. Okay, so I have finished my 12 rows. So as you can see, this is a very stretchy fabric, which is perfect for ear warmers. So it will be wrinkly like that, but that is quite all right because when it's on the head, it's going to stretch and you're not going to see that at all. Okay, so let's begin our last row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And I really like this yarn. I think it's really, really pretty. I wasn't sure how it would stitch up with this particular stitch, but I think it looks really nice. Okay, so what we're going to do for row 13 is we are just going to single crochet all the way across. Now, if you find that this is not wide enough for you, if you would like a wider ear warmer, you could certainly work more rows. Keep repeating row 2 until you have reached your desired width, but I like the width of this, so we are going to stop here. So I'm just going to work regular single crochet all the way across for row 13, and then I am not going to cut my yarn. We are going to join the ends to turn it into an ear warmer. Okay, so I finished working my 102 single crochet. So now we're going to turn this into an ear warmer. So what you'll want to do is you want to decide which you want to be the right side. I mean, basically both sides are pretty much the same, but so we'll just use this one as the right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it so that the right sides are touching like that. And we're going to do that technique that I like that gives it that pretty twist. I really think that looks nice. So we're going to do that with this guy. So first I'm going to chain 1. Now if you don't like this method, you could sew it instead. Alright, so what you'll want to do is you're going to fold each end in half. So here is our one end, and here is our other end. Like that. So we have our ends folded. Now we're going to tuck in each end so that they overlap each other. So you're going to have 4 thicknesses here, 4 layers. So here's one layer, here is our second layer, our third layer, and our fourth layer. So what we want to do is we're going to stitch through all 4 layers with slip stitch. Now again, if you don't want to do that, you can just cut your yarn and you can sew across all 4 layers, or you don't have to do the twist at all and you could just stitch across. But like I said, I think the twist is nice. So the key with this is you want to make sure whether you're sewing it or stitching it is that you work through all 4. So I'm going to insert my hook right there. So here is our second layer. You want to make sure you get that end of that corner. Here is the third layer and the fourth layer. So we have all 4 layers and we're just going to slip stitch across. And we're just going to keep going. So inserting your hook. Sometimes you can see this is falling down, so just, yank it back up and work in that layer. So again, you want to make sure you have all 4 layers. And we're just going to keep going across. So I'm going to keep going, stitching across all of my layers here. Okay, so I have stitched across all my layers. So once you've done that, we are going to need to cut our yarn. And then we will turn it right side out. And then you can see how pretty that looks. I just think that looks so pretty. I really love it. I actually really love how this turned out with these colors. These colors are so pretty. I think it worked out beautifully in this stitch. I'm really, really happy with this. I will give it a little bit of a light block, but I can't wash it in the washing machine because it's 100% wool and it will felt. But it feels very nice. It's not a real scratchy wool, but I mean, I could add a liner if I wanted to. But as you can see, this is a real stretchy fabric, which is nice for ear warmers, so it's not going to go anywhere. And of course, what you'll need to do is you'll need to weave in your loose ends, and again, if you need to block it, then certainly do that. And you're all set for wearing. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.